Well, good morning, everyone. My goodness. First off, let's give old Brooks a pat on the back. I sound totally different, do I not? My sinuses have cleared out. Took a lot of those showers where you get the Vicks tabs, the shower steamers. Now I'm a bad girl. I shut the door so I really absorb the vapors. And I put OJ in there too because he's been sneezing, as you know. Seems you all have been having a pre-party in here. Look at that, True Crime Beat just showed up. Still Waters, how you doing, girlfriend? Chrissy, Pat K. Hey, it's Pat K. Or as most of us say, hashtag WWPD. My girl Diana Howery, I talked to her this morning. Aggie, Angie, baby. I think I saw a cat in here. Look at this, my girl Jazzy. She said, been the best 13 months. Love you all. We love you too. Woo! What a great thing when we can come together and we can talk about these cases that confuse the hell out of us because we don't know what law enforcement knows. I had to say that to someone on my Facebook the other day. She said, people need to know that the police don't need to tell us what they know. Now, when I wanted to yell, no shit, I said, I think I make that clear every day. It's kind of like what Jeff Foxworthy used to say. Here's your sign. We know. This is not our first rodeo. Sunset Gazing, my girl, she said, I just caught the beginning of a live. Still Waters is getting under my crawl. She said, Brooks, I have on my battery-powered socks just for you because I know you love socks so much. Socks can kiss my ass. Okay? Now, what do those battery-powered socks do, Still Waters? Do they vibrate? Do they penetrate the heel and the arch of your foot? Or just warm your feet? And last I remember, you're in Florida. Okay? But no, it's going to be 71 degrees here today. I have on flip-flops that I got from the Love's Truck Stop in Mobile, Alabama. But I still want to know, what do the socks do? I stand corrected. Just me said, nope, it was Bill Engvall, not Jeff Foxworthy. Okay, Pat K said it's a thing. Pat K, what do battery-powered socks do? Pat would know. She educated us on the trickle battery a few weeks ago. Changed my whole life. It doesn't do exactly what I thought it did, but hey, I still had a good Valentine's Day. Let's take a second and tell everyone happy Thursday. It is almost the weekend. And as you know, I don't really talk about Sebastian's case until there's something new that has come out, and a lot of new things have come out this week. No coincidence there. It's been over a year since his disappearance. A lot of things trouble me about this case. One, I'm not impressed with any of the parents. Hence why, since I haven't picked a team, some people aren't cool with that. They want to hear a lot of hatred against one person. I'm not saying you guys, I'm just saying that's how some people are. I do believe that Nick Barris was told, this is a vacuum of nothing. We have no evidence. We have no evidence of a crime. because his station, which is a huge station in Nashville, as you know, he used to work in East Tennessee. He was talking about Evelyn Boswell. He was talking about Summer Wells. Like the Jeffersons, he got moving on up. He goes to Nashville, huge station, huge. Nashville's a lot bigger than where he came from. This station is standing behind what he said. Junie said, good morning, listening in the bushes. Get your asses out of the bushes and come say hi. No one here bites, and if you have an issue around here, we have a customer service department. You can email cll72020@gmail.com, and your concern will be addressed. Better believe it. I do not like the comparisons between Sebastian and Summer. To me, they're totally different. Yes, I know they're both missing. And I know that people are saying no one's ever going to find them, never going to happen. Listen, it happens. Hell, around bumfuck Oklahoma, they found a person who's been missing for like 30 years. I get comments saying, well, why are you always trashing Dawn and Candace? But, you know, you're so nice to Seth, Katie, and Chris. Am I that nice? I didn't realize I was being that nice. I do think about other parents that have been in this horrific situation. I think about the family of Sean Hornbeck. When the police kept telling everyone that they believe he was abducted. People around St. Louis, Missouri weren't buying it. They kept saying, nope. Pam and Craig Akers killed Sean Hornbeck. Well, they couldn't have been more wrong. They couldn't have been more wrong. Ben Owensby, same area. He comes up missing. They go straight after his parents. Well, guess what? The two kids were found together in Michael Devlin's apartment. He's in jail forever and a day in Missouri. Think about the case of Michael Vaughn. Law enforcement said this is an abduction. People said, well, then how come Tyler's not talking? How come Brandy isn't saying very much? We know they did it. We know they did it. Now we have 4 suspects. We have 4. And possibly more. Horrible situation. Horrible. We talked about Harley Dilly yesterday. And how when he went missing, people thought his parents did something to him. He was found in a chimney. So we have to look, what does Chris McDonough say? And trust me, I'm no Chris McDonough. You have to look at victimology. So in the house that Sebastian lives in, or was at the time when he went missing, let's look at what Sebastian was going through. He had an IEP as autistic, put on medication, put into, I would say, pull-ups. His parents, stepfather and stepmother, the ones that were around him most of the time, wanted to put him somewhere to teach him how to act. I'll put it that way. Then they wanted him to go with his father, and his father said, give him a year so he can straighten up. Okay. Seth has said a lot of times in interviews, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Absolutely. I get it. Where is the dead end in this investigation? That's what I can't figure out. Because I've listened to the 911 call, I can't tell you how many times. And they spoke with neighbors and, of course, with Katie, saying he does hide. He does hide. Let's go to your comments from yesterday. And remember, there's a big difference between a 5-year-old going missing and a 15-year-old. I spoke about the child in Colorado, 14 and a half years old. He's been missing for 7 years. Again, no evidence of foul play. I don't know what the police know. I have no idea, but I want to go through your comments. Liberty said the police there and TBI aren't going to solve this. This is yet another Summer Wells case in Tennessee. The police there and TBI are absolutely worthless. I think, again, we can agree to disagree because we know that we've seen Tennessee Bureau of Investigation solve a hell of crimes. FBI. I don't know anything about Sumner County, so I'm not going to say anything about them. But I think if information comes forward, or if possibly they check that construction site again, they might come up with something. Just my opinion. This I don't know about. Someone needs to help me. Janet, I can't pronounce her last name, said, what happened at the backyard next day Sebastian was missing? Why does CP not showing receipts where he was? CP got so upset where his truck was. CP said go to the church. CP said Sebastian will never be found. Now, I don't know about the backyard. I don't know that he said he would never be found. I don't know about going to the church or his truck. And as far as where he was, my understanding is all of the private investigators, Seth has had several. Katie and Chris, I think, have had 2. They're with SF Investigates right now, have all said Chris was nowhere around Hendersonville. So, I mean, either they all got that information or they're all lying for him. I don't know. Maria O'Sullivan said he's gone. There's many others just like him. Not sure why everyone is so concerned about Sebastian, but couldn't care less about all the other missing runaway teenagers. Okay, so I'm assuming Maria is looking at Sebastian's case as a runaway situation, as a lot of people are. Because just because a child runs away doesn't mean they're coming back home and doesn't mean that they're going to be outdoors safely. As far as not caring about other missing children, you can look at the playlist on this channel and you can see a lot of different cases. Cases that nobody talks about. Cases that are local to me, cases that are local to Susan, that are not in the algorithm. So, in my opinion, that was a little Rudy Tooty, but doesn't matter because I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood today. Tina King, who I love to death, said, Brooks, don't get pissed at me. Never, girlfriend, I love you. But I don't think that's really fair about their weight. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but I am not hating either side. Me either. And I should never make those comparisons, Tina. You are right. I am looking at parents with children that are missing and how, and I don't want this to happen to anyone, a child missing or health concerns. And I see how their health and their weight, I mean, hell, all the way down to their hair and bone structure change from stress. I'm not seeing it with these three. I'm not. But it's very unfair for me to make that comparison. Tina said, again, she's not hating on either side. I'm really not either. She said, I truly don't think any of them had anything to do with Sebastian being gone. I think the Proudfits and Seth do things differently, but I believe they all love Sebastian and want him home. In my opinion, the Proud stay quiet so Ellie will talk to them. I agree with that. I agree with that so much because loose lips sink ships. And if someone's running from YouTube channel to YouTube channel to YouTube channel, the police are going to be like, don't tell them anything. Please don't. Please don't. She goes on to say, which I don't think they are getting anything. And Seth's seeing that. That's not getting them anywhere. So he goes to Dog and Bullhorn Betty. They are all in the dark, and so is Ellie, in my humble opinion. Well, it does seem that way. For sure. I'm telling you, it's just insane. Now, I know I've had a few messages, a couple comments, had an email as long as my arm wanting to know why I dog on Don and Candace and not on Seth, Katie, and Chris. I think I've dogged on Seth, Katie, and Chris plenty. I just don't do it every damn day. I don't do it every damn day. I just don't. I don't have enough juice in this tank. No, girlfriend. For one, the cases are totally different. Summer is 5. Well, she was 5 when she disappeared. Sebastian, 15. Totally different. That in itself is totally different. Okay? Don and Candace have had all their children removed for their children's safety. Yet, Chris's daughter was allowed to come to Tennessee, and her mother put her on the airplane willingly, and she went and spent time with Chris and Katie. You think that family court judge isn't aware that Chris and Katie have a missing child? You think that they didn't speak with law enforcement and say, I need brass tacks. Do they have anything to do with this? Not every judge is like the Harmony Montgomery judge. There is a reason that Don and Candace, all of their children were removed shortly after Summer disappeared. That's really all I can say in comparison of the two cases. Debbie said, I don't think Nina ever put Faith on the plane willingly. Somebody had to have. If not, you keep going to court and going to court and going to court. I mean, I don't know. If there's a danger to a child, that's all I have on that situation. All right, so let's get to it. They said a lot last night, in my opinion. And Nina, she knows how to speak out. She knows the stakes here. She can easily say, this judge forced me to put my child on the plane to go see her father. I had no choice. I had to do it. Now, I don't know if you all would do that. I would have had my suspicions and been like, oh, hell no. They have a child missing in their home. I can't put my child through that.
Over the mid-state and across the country.
Yeah, 1 year ago today, Sebastian Rogers vanished from his Hendersonville home without a trace. Hundreds of tips have poured in, but still no Sebastian.
Sebastian's mother and stepdad sat down with our Holly Thompson, who joins us now with how they're handling everything 1 year later. Tonight in
V. Oakley said, what can you do, though? If I was told correctly, there wasn't even a court hearing with Nina and Chris. It was already scheduled visitation, and she didn't fight it. If I was told correctly. So if that's visitation, I don't understand that, because there's such a thing called family court, and you can just keep battling it. You can get an emergency protective order and say, I'm not sending my baby to Tennessee when they have a child, another child that was in the home that was abused and now is missing. So somebody behind the scenes, because no mother would do that. No mother would do that. Knows more than we do.
my one-on-one with Katie and Chris Proudfoot, you'll hear about the unwavering hope this family is clinging to and their message to you as they vow they will never give up in the search for their son.
It's a living nightmare, to be honest with you.
The teen with autism disappeared from his mom and stepdad's Hendersonville home in the overnight hours of February 26th.
What would you say to him when he walked in that door? Oh, God, I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs. Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell him. I mean, just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh.
The teen with autism disappeared from his mom and stepdad's Hendersonville home in the overnight hours of February 26th.
We do believe there's a chance it is Sebastian. We're just trying to find out if that could be the case.
Steve Fisher, a private investigator hired by Katie and Chris Proudfoot, says this video that first aired on WSMV4 could be a new lead.
Okay, before they go through this tired-ass video again, this tired-ass video, law enforcement has known about this video since a couple of days after Sebastian went missing, and it has nothing to do with Sebastian. Odd to a few people in the true crime community. Some will never get it. You see, if a child goes missing in my neighborhood, I'll say a couple blocks away, and I'm outside watering my yard and then chasing my cat to the backyard, that does not make me responsible for a missing child. No, it doesn't. I would be 100% cooperative with law enforcement if they said, hey, this child in your neighborhood went missing at this time. We're asking people in the neighborhood. We saw you on Linda's Ring camera and you were outside. That's the extent of it. That's the extent of it. So whoever this is poking around at 12:17 at night, law enforcement is saying it has nothing to do with anything. And so since in this chat, we're not here hating on anyone, we want the truth. We're not going to be biased because we don't have the facts. Not very fun for some people, but that's okay. If Seth and his team had produced this video, in my opinion, it wouldn't be laughed at. It just wouldn't.
In the ongoing search for Sebastian, video from the night Sebastian disappeared.
We went through over 100 hours of surveillance, and it wasn't until the third pass through the surveillance that we even spotted this person. And there's a person at 12:17 a.m. in the same neighborhood that Sebastian's from, that walks southbound in the neighborhood, goes behind a vehicle. It appears that they're trying to stay out of sight of another person that's walking their dog.
Okay, what's her name? I don't know her real name. Granny's Watching was in here yesterday. And was it yesterday or the day before, talking about the video? And she's the one that said it's irrelevant, has nothing to do with anything. Because I was wondering, is that Sebastian getting out? And now it's out now. Two Boston moms said it's also strange, but if you go by common sense, either he walked away on his own or look at the last person to be with him at the time of disappearance, i.e. Katie. That's what I go back to. It's got to be one or the other. He's 15 years old. And I agree with just me. On the poll is up. If I could choose all of the above, I would. Because I see a lot of failures with these parental figures. Sorry. I know there's some people out there, they probably have a blow-up doll of Seth by now going, he's the best dad. He's just doing nothing but looking for his kid. He's doing motorcycle drives and vigils. Brooks, he's the best dad in the world. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything about him. I'm just saying I see some failures on all ends. You don't even want to judge my parenting. That's it. Give me that leave it to beaver shit.
And then doubles back after it's clear.
Fisher says he's working to learn if that person wearing dark clothing in the video is accounted for in the investigation.
It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. We just have to run it down.
Over the last 12 months, emergency responders and volunteers spent hundreds.
Real quick, thank you for being honest, Jovi. That's me. You don't want to judge my parenting. You don't want to judge my parents' parenting. Okay? At 15, 16 years old, I knew how to sneak out of the house. Luckily for all of you, nothing happened to me. So I knew how to squeeze my ass back in through that Pella window to get into back into my bedroom, and no one know the difference. Because if they knew the difference, I'd get my damn ass beat. 501, Dimebag Chris, what you doing, Dimebag Chris? He said, sorry, but not sorry. All three are shady. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Dimebag Chris. I'm going to guess Dimebag Chris doesn't have one of those autographed pictures on his wall of Seth.
Hundreds of hours searching for the missing teen. Drone mapping, ground searches, scent dogs, and the scouring of surveillance video.
Why do you think Sebastian is still missing?
That's tough to say. I mean, it was the largest manhunt in Tennessee history for a child. And absolutely zero evidence. There's nothing out there. Law enforcement's working diligently. They are working hard over and over and over.
What do you want to say to anyone out there who wants to say that one of you could have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
I would say to pause and to think, and I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information avoid the rumors.
Katie and Chris say they're determined to bring their son home and want the community to stay focused.
I want to ask everyone.
Okay, before we get to that, going to answer some comments. Two Boston moms said, good Lord, why are cameras always so shady, especially nowadays? Yeah, ours isn't exactly that great. But y'all know, you've heard me talk about my neighbor Linda, the one that has the tulips every spring, and she put those little shower cap looking things on them before a tornado. That's Linda. I don't know what kind of Elon Musk shit she has over there. But I'm telling you right now, she's in here right now. Go ahead and say hi to Linda. That bitch can see the whole neighborhood. It's like having Chris Watts' neighbor across from me. She was like, well, I saw on my camera you left at like 5:55 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I was taking Greg to work. I got to find out what system she has.
One, not to forget. And I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness, not only to our son, but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve to go home.
And if Sebastian's out there listening, I asked Katie what she'd want to say to it.
I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care and so many people that are looking, and hang in there and know that we're going to find you, know that we're going to bring you home.
Investigating agencies say Sebastian's mom, stepdad, and biological father have fully cooperated, and there's no evidence to support foul play. Now, we also contacted law enforcement about the video in our story. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office told us that law enforcement had possession of the original video that the private investigator says is new since 72 hours after Sebastian was reported missing. And after thoroughly investigating this lead, they determined it has no relevance to the case. Now, you can watch my full interview with Katie.
Oh, we will. Okay, so just like Miss Green Hoodie, law enforcement's like, been there, done that, saw that, done with it. We already know. So bring us something else, please. No evidence. No crime. But you all know what puts a burr in my saddle is when they treat a teenager who's missing as a runaway. So my question is, they say no evidence. No evidence of foul play or a crime. But was there an investigation? I mean, a true investigation. Yes, we know you searched. We know that. But did you search thoroughly? Was this a military grade search? He's got to be around there somewhere. Because Katie didn't leave the house that night. Was the investigation in the first 48 hours, 4-8, totally thorough? Did they start on digital, which sometimes can take months? Did they check the cars? Geofencing. That takes a while too. Listen to me. Like I'm Mariska Hargitay on Law and Order. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to our friend Terry Lynn. She was on the news last night. Fox Nashville. Woohoo! I'm going to get an autograph from her. She has worked diligently looking for Sebastian, and she has a lot of people around her. So remember, this has been going on for a year, and she's not the only one. Law enforcement wasn't the only one. There was a lot going on. Now, Chrissy Pussfoot, who just got done with his mullet, sorry, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Chris. So for those of you that are, well, we can still be friends. I don't think he's on your Christmas card list. He said this was the biggest search in Tennessee history. Last we heard, the biggest search was for Summer Wells. So that should answer a few questions, because we know Summer Wells had an insane search.
Marks 1 year since Sebastian Rogers vanished from his Sumner County home. His mother says the 15-year-old boy with autism simply walked out of their house. As Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier shows us, the search continues to capture the hearts of Middle Tennesseans, including a Goodlettsville woman.
Terry Williams works on the Sebastian Rogers disappearance case every day of her life. She's not related to the boy, but she's been devastated by what happened and decided she had to do something about it.
After CrimeCon, my husband and I were in White House, Tennessee, at a Love's, getting a, Chris sandwich, Diet Dr. Pepper for me, coffee, whatever, some chicken nuggets for OJ. And I saw one of Terry Lynn's signs. And I was like, I've got to meet this woman, because that is awesome. Just the fact that she put it outside of a truck stop was so smart, because, well, truckers see the whole country. Even if they're regional or local, they see a child's picture, they will keep their eyes out. I thought it was a very smart move. Good morning, Crystal.
About it.
My signs are on the ground.
Terry Lynn Williams has searched for Sebastian Rogers nearly 200 times in the past year, through every environment possible, in creeks, in the woods, in the dead of night.
I want to say something about Terry Lynn. We've had a couple of shows of Terry Lynn. She's awesome. Okay? And on one of the shows, I said, everyone kick in some money, because we're going to get her money for gas, her time, and the signs. I honestly had people, I don't remember if it was actively in the chat, I don't remember, but after show comments saying she's a grifter, she won't use it for that. Well, a month later, when I got my money, I got a hold of Terry Lynn, settled up with her. I didn't ask her for anything. She sent me back a receipt that had been emailed to her where she ordered more signs with the money that you all put in. Well, I went back and I found those comments, and a few of those people aren't chatting with us today. People get real upset about money, and that's an insecurity problem. It's an insecurity.
In business parking lots, everywhere and anywhere, relentless.
I'm a mom. And as a mom, I can't say what any other mom will do or would do. When a kid, when it's that close and you feel like it's just something, it's your community. This isn't my home. You know, I grew up in Hendersonville. I went to Beach. I graduated from Beach High School. That hits home. He's not my child. He's not. But he deserves to be found and looked for. He deserves that.
Williams marks every search site with a big green ribbon. It's Sebastian's favorite color, and it's now hanging in unlikely places all over Sumner County. Terry has also made and put up 300 signs donated by a local sign maker and passed out 6,000 flyers. It is, by all accounts, above and beyond what anyone could ever expect or even imagine.
It was just like they just dissipated it, and they were probably.
She's doing a lot. And since, now I'm not talking about FBI, because we know their rewards don't work that way, okay? But since all these other people on, I hate to say it, Seth's side have put up like insane amounts of money. Why don't you pay the searchers? Take some of that reward money. It won't take that much. Start sending out gift cards, buying signs, whatever it is you need to do to help these people that are working for free for your child. That's just an idea I had.
One could ever expect or even imagine.
It was just like they just dissipated it. And they were probably searching other ways, but and I can't say that for sure. I just knew that I wasn't going to stop. I made a promise. And if I promise a child something, I'm not going to stop.
William still keeps a blanket out.
Okay, Laura. I'm not the Laura Durham. I'm not putting it on the screen. No one get rid of it. She says, I'm going to say K and S are killer. I mean, are they killer funny? Are you saying they are killers? Because law enforcement has said there's no evidence of a crime. I think we're thinking the wrong way. I watched Murder, She Wrote. I read Nancy Drew books. I get the mystery. I also know what has happened to other parents in these situations when people formed their own narrative and their own opinion instead of listening to law enforcement. And I could be wrong all the way up. But if I disagreed with law enforcement, I guess I'm not that big of an asshole.
On her front porch to remind her that if Sebastian is alive, he might be cold or uncomfortable, even though the most optimistic people have little hope that Sebastian is still alive.
I still have hope. I still have that hope, but I'm not going to stop searching.
In fact, she has another big round of searches planned in the upcoming weeks and hopes this will help renew interest in this cold and depressing case.
Oh, I would love to see a community come together, really come together. Stop all the conspiracies. Let's just put all that to the side. Why not plan a search once a month?
Terry has 19,000 followers on her YouTube page, all about the Sebastian Rogers case. She would love some company on these upcoming searches. You can find her on YouTube at Terry Lynn. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Good for her. Now I'm going to check on the poll. Who is most responsible for Sebastian's disappearance? 24% said Chris. 67% said Katie. 2% said Seth. And 7% said other. Woo, woo. Now, Chris couldn't have done anything since he wasn't home. That's been verified by, well, Seth's own private investigators. Seth was at work. Katie was home. So what's the other? All right, let's get to their interview. Still Waters said, FFS, I'm steaming. What's wrong, Still? Carrie G's at the eye doctor. Carrie G's at the eye doctor. You okay, girlfriend? You getting new glasses? Hold on, Laura Durham. Today is her birthday. Before we get to this, let's please sing happy birthday to Laura. And on top of that, Kimberly Mann gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. If you're new here, we have a routine. Allow gifts and get your umbrella. Broken Goth doll. She's coming right up my flagpole. Said Katie may not have done anything, but she's the reason Sebastian left, in my opinion. I think there was a fight, and I think all the talking about you're going to your dad's, we are going to lock away the food, their words, not mine. We're going to take away your snake. You're not playing with cats. When he was walking into Texas Roadhouse or in some parking lot, he was plugging his ears. Seems like he wasn't a happy camper. Ivy's mom said other extended family. Okay. Woo-wee. And of course, today is Laura's birthday. We are on a roll. Hold on, Stillwater's that interview, the piss poor gesture of leaving a blanket on the porch. I can't, Brooks. Now, what the hell's up with the blanket on the porch? That's ridiculous. That's insane. Casbah said yes. Loud arguing annoys Spectrum kids. I don't know what a Spectrum kid is. In this interview, Katie talks about how high functioning he is. The reason I think that he could have possibly left on his own is I think about the case with little Scotty Morris. Okay? And I think about another case you guys are going to hear about on Dateline NBC pretty soon. This child was like 14 and a half, left in Colorado, still hasn't been found. And again, no evidence of a crime and no foul play. Little Scotty Morris, we have a whole playlist on him. No autism, nothing like that going on. He had a huge fight with his mother. They'd been butting heads for quite a while. And he ran away. Again, they said no evidence of a crime, no foul play. And of course, we all screamed, my ass, there's no foul play. Look at the t-shirt she made him wear. Check out that playlist. Something's just not adding up here, and I'm not liking it. I'm just not liking it. On any angle, okay?
So it's an entire year after Sebastian's disappearance. There's no really strong lead. There's no sighting yet. So tell me what you're feeling now. Here we are 1 year later.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly. The amount of ups.
I'm going to answer a question. DC Primetime. Do the Proudfoots have a fridge in the garage? I don't know. That really wouldn't make any sense since we had to hear the story about how Sebastian was big on eating treats. He liked, all the sweets and all that stuff, and they were locking cabinets. I've heard about this before with other children. But a fridge in the garage, we've heard from several people that there was a mattress in the garage. I don't know if Katie was meeting a boyfriend from down the street and they did their horizontal boogaloo in the garage on a mattress, or if it's the other stories we've heard because Sebastian was having an issue controlling his bladder. All right, anyone who has raised a teenage boy knows that that's sometimes happens. Sometimes that happens.
the amount of like possible leads that haven't panned out. We every day, you know, it's like waking up to this reality that it's actually.
Okay, I want to talk about, like Just Me said, boys eat. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. To this day, I mean, my children are 29, 30, and 31. And when they're together, I still wonder, do they even chew? Because by the time they've got all their plates, my husband has his plate, and I'm just getting my glass of wine and my plate. I'm just like, the hell happened over here? Y'all already ate all that? Yeah, I'm going to go back and get some more, Mama. This is good. And I'm like, oh, holy shit. Now, has anyone in here, and we're being honest, we want honesty. I already said, if you've raised teenage boys that go and pee-pee in the bed as a teenager, it's not uncommon when other things start happening downstairs. Okay? Has anyone ever told their children, you're not having any more chocolate milk? No. You're not having a pop with dinner. No. Get your ass out of there. You're not going to have any more Oreos or Chips Ahoy. No, it's time to go to bed. You don't need a mixing bowl full of Cocoa Krispies before you go to bed. No, you don't need that. I think we all have said no to our kids. The locking up thing, that I don't understand. No idea.
Real. And I mean, Sebastian should be home with us. I mean, he should be in school. He should be playing. He should be learning. He should be experiencing life. And until we can find him and until we can bring him home, we're going to keep doing everything we can to make sure that people don't forget about him. We're going to keep making sure that we spread awareness for him, and we're going to keep searching, and we're definitely going to keep praying.
Remember, I posted the link, the StreamYard link. Anybody that wants to come up, you don't need to turn on your camera. Tell anyone your real name. Please don't do that. Just come on up. Tell me what you're thinking. I love the conversation.
You've told me you do want to stay positive. I know you both want to stay positive. That's all part of it. So in your mind, do you see Sebastian coming back through your front door? Do you feel he's okay? He's alive. He's out there.
I dream about it every day. I dream that one day I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I believe that my son is out there somewhere. I believe that we are going to find him. We are going to bring him home. And we're going to find a way to recover from this. And I'm going to watch him grow into a young man and, you know, live the life that he deserves to have.
What would you say to him when he walked in that door?
Oh, God, I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs.
Okay, this statement upset quite a few people because I watched this last night. Went to bed a little early because I wasn't feeling 100%. I've been battling with these allergies because I was starting my farming. If you guys were around last year, I talked about my farming quite a bit. Well, when you farm early in the spring, you know, you get the allergies. So anyway, after watching this, I saw a lot of people were extremely upset that Katie said, if he comes walking through that door, I would probably bulldoze him. I believe she says with hugs. But a lot of people went back to the construction site saying that is what happened to Sebastian. Quite the parlay.
Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell him. I mean, I just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh, to see him just be with us and be okay is like I can't wait to see my son. I want to find him so bad.
You think he's coming home, right? How would you describe what you all have experienced this last year with so many unanswered questions still?
It's
Always L8 said the worst part would be him coming back through the door and nobody lives there any longer. At least that's the rumor that's going around, is they no longer are staying there. I thought Katie was still living there and Chris is still doing his thing at his job when he has to work out of town. DC Primetime said could be leakage. Never know. I am going to be honest with you, as you guys are always honest with me. When I saw this part, I felt very, very bad for Katie. And I really don't know who wouldn't have empathy at a time like this when law enforcement is saying there's no evidence of a crime, not a criminal investigation, no evidence of foul play. But then I go back to my little true crime brain, that little peanut in my head. But was the investigation based on a missing child or a runaway having problems at home? Because yes, my friends, they do treat them differently. Yes, they do. Fun fact, I have a brother-in-law who's missing right now. I'm not going to get into it with all of you right now. I have tried to report him missing, I'd say 3 times. But due to his age, we get a big, if he turns up, he turns up type of thing. We'll talk about that on a member's live sometime.
It's horrific, to be honest with you. I don't know how to describe what it feels like to watch the news, to go hang flyers in every store, every business, every place that you go to, and still find that some people don't even know about it. To hear that there might be a lead, and then just to sit there and have to wait and find out that it's not him yet. And
it's pure hell. I mean, there's nothing you can, there's no words, there's no.
Quick question, discussion only. What do you think some of these people will do? How will they react? If it turns out that Sebastian snuck out that night in February and he is found and they realize that he fell into something, I hate to go through any other scenarios. How do you think the people that have come straight out and said that Chris and Katie murdered Sebastian, what do you think will happen? I already know what I'll say. Same thing I'm saying today. Y'all should have stepped up. All of your asses. This is not 1978. We don't whip out the belt and hit a child, especially one that'd be like hitting a 2-year-old with the belt. You don't ignore extreme punishment in your home by your side piece or, your new husband. And when told by the custodial parent that you're going to put your son into a behavioral center or he's going to come live with you, you don't say, give him a year to straighten up. And whatever Chris and Katie are doing to search, maybe they're calling their private investigator a searcher. Maybe they're calling the other one they have. Because the private investigators they have had are they're pretty big money. They don't just talk. I will say that.
No way to put how this actually feels. And anybody.
I personally don't want a picture of any of their asses out in the woods or anywhere else going, Sebastian! I personally don't want to see that. If they say they're searching, they're searching. Pat, you are the best. Thank you so much. Look at that. I wish I had a cowbell. Pat K said, we stand for the missing. Thanks, Brooks. Oh, Pat. Thank you, baby.
That can. I don't see how. I mean, it's day-to-day life changes and you're stuck. It's almost like it feels like it's a Groundhog Day thing where it's the same thing over and over. You wait and you hope a phone call may come in, you may get something, may get a lead. Turns out to be nothing. That's how it feels.
What is that message? We were talking earlier last week. Tell me what that message is that you want to make sure our viewers hear from you tonight.
I want to thank everyone who is searching. I want to thank everyone who is spreading flyers, spreading awareness. I want to ask everyone not to forget, and I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness, not only to our son, but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve to go home. And I would also like to say that if my son could hear it, that we love him so much and that we are going to keep searching. We are going to keep looking. We are going to find him and we are going to bring him home.
Describe your hope right now.
Okay, Another question, a lot of people were, I just saw it in comments and stuff. They said, why are Chris and Katie now talking and not Seth? Seth talks all the time. I personally believe, just by other cases we've followed and trials we have followed, when parents say, I waited till this day to speak out by advisement of law enforcement. Chris and Katie could easily have been told STFU. Don't say anything else. Don't stir that turd. Just don't do it. I don't know. Or we can't tell you any information if you're going to spread it around on YouTube. It's been told to other families.
I'm trying to be positive as I can because I know that my son is out there. I struggle to find words to even describe how it feels anymore because it's a living nightmare, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the fact that Sebastian is out there and that we are looking for him, and we're going to keep looking for him, and we're going to keep praying to God that he is okay. And we're going to bring him home.
This story, we know it's baffled our Hendersonville community.
Okay, I'm going to interject right here. You know, when Katie is sniffling, again, I don't know who did what or if anyone did anything. I do not know. But when she's emulating herself a different way from what she did on other interviews. I believe Olivia, this station in Nashville, Nancy Grace, anyway. But when she said, we will bring him home, that's what Brandy Neal said very often about Michael. So we have a different polishing here. And I'm wondering if people aren't taking notes as to how other victims' families act when they're in a controlled interview environment. We're not talking about no trashy YouTube live where they come up and there's no prepared questions. These are prepared questions.
We know it's baffled the mid-state community. It's baffled much of the country as they hear about it. Is there anything that stands out to you that's the most baffling? Like you're just trying to understand?
How we've gone this long and still haven't found him, honestly, is... I don't understand how we haven't found him yet.
Why do you think Sebastian is still missing?
That's tough to say. I mean, it was the largest manhunt in Tennessee history for a child. And
now this we have to find out about, okay? Because the last we heard was Summer Wells, and if they're classifying Sebastian as a endangered runaway, yes, I know there's an Amber Alert. We've gone over that a million times about what Amber Alerts mean in different states. Not going down that road right now. So if Sebastian is truly being treated as just a teenage runaway, the search for Sebastian would not be the biggest in the state or bigger than Summer Wells, who is 5 years old. And don't forget with Summer Wells, again, 5 years old. And CPS had just come to see her family the day before. So if Sebastian's is a bigger search, then damn. Goodness.
Absolutely zero evidence. There's nothing out there. Law enforcement's working due diligently. They are working hard over and over and over. You know, we appreciate everything they do. I mean, it is an active investigation, so I don't want to go into it. But it is mind-blowing at the same time that it's been a year, and the amount of people that still don't know about this, it's unnerving, basically.
I know you both want to try to get the word out as much as possible, and that's what this story, obviously, that's what we're trying to do as well. There are many people who still do not know that you all have hired a private investigator. What can you tell me about the video that he recently has discovered and wants to share? I know this has been shared with authorities now.
Yes.
It has.
This is involving the neighborhood that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that video?
It's eye-opening to see that this is something that recently has surfaced, and it's been this long. It's just taken that long to find something. And what the video shows is kind of mind-boggling. We went from potentially not having a sighting to potentially having a sighting. And it kind of changes, like, wait a minute, now we may have something to actually work off of and move forward with and see where this goes. Exercise every avenue till its fullest.
No
It
stone
doesn't happen.
unturned.
No stone unturned. And Katie, you told me earlier you were determined to get to the bottom of this, to get to the bottom of that video.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that could possibly be something that could lead us to him. We're gonna keep looking. We're gonna keep digging and keep finding and confirm if it is or isn't, because I mean, if it's possible, then it's got to be confirmed.
How hopeful are you that this video truly has something that could lead to finding Sebastian?
I pray that if there is anything even remotely in it that could help us find Sebastian, I pray that it is I don't know how to word it, but it's followed up and found out and confirmed one way or the other, because, you know, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the video. I know it's in it. It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. We just have to run it down. We've got to figure this out. And with law enforcement doing what they can, and with the help of like TBI, the FBI, all of that. I mean, I believe Secret Service was involved in the beginning. Maybe they can look at this video as well. Let's bring people back to the table, and let's exercise every possibility of enhancing this video, looking at whatever, and tackling what it is to get an answer.
Okay, they've already said it's irrelevant. And I'm being honest. Remember, we're always honest with each other around here about what we think. I can be honest too. Don't forget, the link is posted. If Seth had put this out, Seth and his dream team, people would not be doubting the video. I'm telling you, they wouldn't. Ooh, boy, mama. That was brought up in the beginning. I don't know who brought that up, but like right off the bat, they're like, somebody was saying they sensed issues in the house, and they're like, how do we know that he didn't disappear on purpose? I don't even want to think about that, but that's a possibility.
Now, this is your chance to respond, to speak out, to speak your mind, whatever it is that you want to say. But you know, no matter.
Yep, sorry, it was Broken Goth Doll. Yep, Broken Goth Doll brought that up. I could not remember. Thank you for the reminder.
What the story is, there are always people who will point fingers. What do you want to say to anyone out there who wants to say that one of you could have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
I would say to pause and to think, and I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information. Avoid the rumors. And I would say that everyone should pause and remember why we all came together in the first place. And that is because Sebastian's missing, and because I'd like to believe that we all want to find him. And no matter what anyone's personal opinion is, that the most important thing still remains that Sebastian needs to be found, and Sebastian needs to come home. And I would just say thank you to everyone and anyone that is a part of that.
So let's say Sebastian is listening when this is running, and he hears you, he sees you. What do you want to say to him?
I would say that I love you so very much, and that I hope that you're okay. And I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care, and so many people that are looking, and hang in there, and know that we're going to find you, know that we're going to bring you home. Just, I miss him so much.
So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking.
Keep searching, keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places, they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my original request just to anyone that's willing. Don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story. Not to supersede other children, because they all deserve just as much, if not more, attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never gonna stop. We're never gonna let that happen if we can help it.
With his autism, is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
I would say that he is what they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal communication, but he does, he does.
Maria O'Sullivan said, obviously, Ellie suspects them. That's why they gave them polygraph tests. Well, they gave one to Seth as well, and he was at work. I don't know of any missing child's case or missing person's case where they asked for a lie detector test. I'm the one that doesn't care about them. I could care less about them. I will say, whether they passed or failed that lie detector, there was nothing on it to go on.
struggle sometimes with expressing himself, is I guess the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart, and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent. And I think that in the chaos of trying to get the initial information about him out, that various things got taken and misconstrued. So I would just tell everyone that he's smart, he's capable, he's funny, he's able to speak to you and to recognize things. You know, he's a teenager, and you know, so he's a young man. Honestly, he just had a birthday, and
Okay, this is actually the most info we know about Sebastian in this interview. He's smart. He's capable. We heard he could whip anyone's ass at chess. Chris was probably pissed because Sebastian's slimmer than him and taller than him. It appears to me that Chrissy Poo might have a short man syndrome. Hey, I don't know. I've just been around a few dudes before. So, smart, capable. Then why was he wearing pull-ups? Why was he wearing pull-ups?
I'm sure that his mustache is coming in more. I mean, he really is a good kid.
Okay, and I'm not raw dogging on Katie and Chris, but I do remember in the beginning, Chris was speaking freely and for himself. She mentions mustache coming in. Okay? In the beginning, Chris mentioned how he was making fun, basically, picking on, joking around with, however you want to put it, with Sebastian, because he was having hair come out. Different places, you know. And making fun of him, I'll just say it that way, teasing, some people would say teasing, for, you know, teaching him to shave. And how, you know, he doesn't have as much hair as him. And I'm thinking, no, Tubby, he doesn't. He's a boy going into puberty. So she mentions mustache. Makes me think that's in her memory, because there might have been an argument about the teasing about the body hair.
Kid, what do you miss most about your son?
Oh, God. I miss his smile. I miss his laugh. I miss going and doing fun things with him. I miss taking him to get a haircut and him saying, "Mom, feel my head." I miss cooking dinner with him. I miss game nights. He would play Uno until the sun came up if you let him. You know, he goes through phases of which games he's into, but, you know, I miss him. I miss everything about him, the good, the bad. I miss his attitude. I miss, you know, him trying to eat all the sweets instead of dinner. I miss him stealing my Brussels sprouts while I'm trying to cook them.
I sense lots of joy that's being missed right now.
Green tea.
His jokes, the way he laughs when he tells a funny.
I think someone asked why her cheeks are so red. I think she might have like rosacea or something like that. What's it called? Where you get like those little bumps and stuff on your cheeks.
He had there's a video that I put out that he was being goofy, and he had this like half gallon of green tea that he had gotten from the grocery store, and he thought of this joke, and he ran in the kitchen and he grabbed a green cup and he was like, "Mom, green tea." And it was just so funny, and I was just like, "Dude, hold on, you got to do that again." And I grabbed my phone and I was like, "You got to do it again." And he was like, "Green tea." And he was just like, it's not in the video, but he was just rolling because he just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And
He's got some quirky one-liners.
oh God, he was getting he was getting to where he had some good ones.
Sounds like a great sense of humor.
He was definitely developing. He was coming into his sarcasm. You know, like one of the other videos I released, when it's hard to hear, but we were bowling, and because he has a lot of fun with it. He actually was getting a lot better without bumpers, but he like rolled a good roll, and he turns around and he's like, "You got wrecked, Mom." And I was just like, what is happening right now? But I mean, I miss that, you know. I miss being able to hang out with him, you know, because he's not little anymore, you know. Which we had a lot of fun when he was little, but when they get older, you know, you start being able to do different things with them, and you know, game nights are, God, they're a blast sometimes.
We didn't have pool days this year.
Okay. It's big in the summer. He loves to go to the pool as much as possible. Swims. It's just he's I don't know if I put that picture out or not, but there's one that I took of him. He has on this like giant, I think it was a flamingo, and he was just like just being a cool guy.
Being a fun kid. For our viewers, before we end this, I guess your message for them is just keep hope alive.
Remember him.
Keep looking.
Share his face, because talking about him is what we want to do, but we want to make.
Yeah, again, I wonder if she's been watching footage of Brandy Neal, because she had said a few things on this interview that are almost verbatim. Share his face, share his beautiful face. You know, all children need exposure. I agree. 100%. That's up to the media. No YouTuber can know about every missing child. No, it gets fed to us a certain way. Same way it does you. Comes across Facebook, comes across Twitter. That's an algorithm. That's not anyone who is talking about one person or another. But it's just, she's picking up on certain things that Brandy says. I hate to think that people are doing their homework. But I mean, hey, if you're getting ready for an interview that you know a ton of people are going to watch, then I guess you would.
Make sure that people know his face. We want to know that people know who they're looking for, and we would just ask that everyone just kind of be aware of your surroundings in general. You never know, and all it takes is just one person that could make a difference. And go ahead.
I would say, if anything, constantly being vigilant, just looking out there, aware of what your surroundings are. Please, if you see something, call 911, call TBI. I know there's a lot of other things out there, but
We would
we
encourage.
just it needs to be segregated, like just a single point of right back to law enforcement.
Mhm.
That's where it needs to go.
We would-
Anybody that sees anything, just report it, please.
Do you feel that there's someone out there right now that knows something? They're just not saying it?
It's hard to say until we can run down this video and figure out what we're seeing. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to, because it's an active investigation.
Mm.
I don't want to add any more
Rumors.
chaos that's already out there. We just want to keep this to the core, Sebastian.
Keeping hope alive.
Yes.
The
Keeping
search
hope
goes
alive.
on. We are hopeful and we are praying for you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with me.
Thank you.
All right. Now, the only update I can think of that they could be waiting on is to find out who the person is in the video that was dug up by their private investigator, SF Investigates. Law enforcement has already said they had it for the betterment of a year and has nothing to do with Sebastian. Nothing. So at this point, they don't, any of them, Seth, Katie, Chris, they have nothing to go off of. Law enforcement told Nick Barris, and the station backed it up, that it's not a criminal investigation. I don't know who in the department was replying to people saying it was. I don't know if they're spoof emails. I have no idea. I don't know. Zero idea. I want to know where the dead end in the case came for law enforcement, though. Was it when the dogs lost the scent at the construction site? Or the way they investigated from the beginning? I don't know. Token said, yeah, don't call your husband first, call 911. I've had a lot of thoughts about this. I have. Because when things go wrong around here, I will call my husband first. 100%. I look at other cases where someone can't find someone, child, and they call like other people before they call 911, because a lot of people just don't jump to the police need to be involved. So I've had to do a lot of thinking on that. I'll tell you what, Still Waters had everyone rolling today. Girl, are you on tour? What the hell's going on? And them calling the sheriff's office as opposed to directly Katie calling 911, I don't understand that at all. Because he was in Memphis. He has to get patched through. Like when Don Wells was in another county, he had to get patched through. Like if I try to call 911 for another county around here, if I hit 911, they would have to patch me in. And the text to Seth was really weird. Really weird. Nothing makes sense. Nothing, my friends, makes sense. But you do. And how awesome each and every one of you are. Don't forget, tomorrow is Sophia's birthday. Now, she came into the chat. She's not feeling good. She has a sinus infection. But we're going to be celebrating her birthday tomorrow. So be here or be square. Be there or be square. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for the memberships, the long-term memberships, super chat, and for keeping this channel going. You guys are the absolute best. Bye-bye.